But there was news out of Tampa Bay today. Bucky Irving. So, one of their beat reporters came out and said the backfield has gotten a boost. Rookie Bucky Irving is bringing a physical one cut and go style of running, and what starter Rashad White and second year Sean Tucker have established. Irving's looking like a guy. He'll play the position in that scheme, a little like Kyron Williams has for the Rams, as a guy who reads and seems fast. I love to hear this because I have Bucky Irving stashed on one of my teams, and this comes from Albert Breer, by the way.
Yeah.
So a credible source, but it comes from Albert Breer. And look, this coaching staff, at least from the offensive coordinator standpoint, they're not married to Rashad White. We talk about Rashad White, but 34th in fantasy points per opportunity. 33rd in yards per touch, 47th in breakaway run rate, 57th in true yards per carry. If there's a chance that Bucky Irving can eat into his passing work too, I don't love it for Rashad White. Now, I'm not going to overreact, but Bucky Irving is a guy that have got stashed in one of my leagues, and I'm happy to see this report because I was very impressed. You don't want to make too much about preseason, but it's about the cutting. It's about putting your foot in the ground and going. And Bucky Irving looked fantastic in preseason. So I'm happy to see it for him. I'm happy to hear the reports. And again, this offensive line wasn't good last year, so maybe we can cut White some slack a little bit. But at the same time, like, this isn't, these coaches care about football and they want the better running back on the field. Rashad White wasn't like amazing last year. He was a great pass catcher, though. Great pass catcher.
Yeah, I feel like, you get the fantasy community, right? The fantasy analysts. Rashad White was the RB 10 in points per game and the RB 4. That's fantasy football.
Yeah.
Reality, 57th in true yards per carry. Much better receiver out of the backfield, as Pete is saying, than he is a running back. Buccaneers, I do believe they want a running back. And it's not like he was facing stacked boxes, 59th in average defenders in a box, right? It's not like Najee, where Najee was 12th.
I didn't even know that.
And I believe Najee had a better yards per carry, actually 4.1. I remember the comp I made early offseason. Chuba Hubbard and Rashad White, very similar yard per carry last year. Bucky Irving, and Albert Breer, you bring up that report in that Kyron role. The reason why he says Kyron role, there's a reason for it. New OC Liam Cohen from the McVay coaching tree started in 2018 as assistant wide receiver coach, assistant quarterback coach, goes to Kentucky as OC and quarterback coach. 2022, Rams OC, goes back to Kentucky last year, OC and quarterback coach, and now he's the OC in Tampa. There's a reason why they bring up that role, is because Kyron Williams is in that role, and there's the McVay tree, and there's all these different connections. So, like, is there a world where Bucky Irving, I know people don't want to hear it because it's fantasy football, it's Rashad White. Rashad White won you a league last year. You don't want to hear this. There's a world where Bucky Irving cuts into some of that workload, which devalues Rashad White significantly. If I don't know, like, what did White get last year?
A lot of targets. I think he had 70.
272 rushing attempts, only 990 yards. If you take away, I don't know, what's a good number to if you want to allocate anything to Bucky Irving, like. At 3.6 yards per carry, you take away half. Is Bucky Irving good enough to take half of those carries?
I don't see why not. I think Rashad White will be the guy in that receiving role still. He may lose some touches. Bucky has to prove that he can be a good pass blocker in pass pro. But yes, to your point, like, there could be some early down work that, Bucky Irving gets, or just a change of pace guy. They didn't. Their backups were bad last year. Sean Tucker wasn't good.
Yeah, I'm pulling up snaps right now. Rashad White played 919 snaps. The next guy, Chase Edmonds, 179. Keyshawn Vaughn, 54. Sean Tucker, 30. So I don't think I'm being outrageous by saying, hey, if Bucky Irving is competent, he's going to play a lot. And he's going to take away some of those touches. Like in what world? This is 2024 NFL. When the hell do we see a running back playing? I don't even know if McCaffrey played 919.
It's a lot.
I really don't.
Yeah, it is a lot. And this is also like a guy that, like, when you talk about stacked boxes, like, it's not like Baker wasn't bad last year where they're daring him to throw the football. They still have Mike Evans on their team. They had Chris Godwin.
898, but it's Christian McCaffrey, right?
But that's still, he had more snaps than McCaffrey. Now, granted, they were very efficient, so they didn't have to be on the field nearly as much. But I digress. We got two